everyone's looking for the young guy. They're looking for McVay. I think take a shot out Todd Bowles, get him a second shot at head coach, and see if he can do it.
I don't think they will. If they don't have Anthony Davis, I'm saying it right now. If Anthony Davis is out for the playoffs, they don't make it out of the first round.
It's crazy. And our kids will know how great Tom Brady is because he's going to be playing.
Yes, it is 15.0%.
That's what the Yankees brought Garrett Cole to do.
He was a 6th-round pick. This is a fairy tale story that's being written in front of our eyes.
People like to call them their JV team, and they just stole one of their better players.
They didn't struggle against the Padres. The Padres didn't really put up a fight in most of the games.
Jerry Jones, hope you're listening.
Hi, I'm Landon Bowe, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week. And things have a chance to get confusing in some other divisions, but when you look at the AFC North, you have the Ravens, who are riding a 5-game winning streak and are now tied with the Pittsburgh Steelers for the AFC North division lead, and the Steelers could be without Aaron Rodgers for another game.
That's true. I think that Rodgers will play this week, but that's a wait and see. The Steelers have been inconsistent most of the year, especially recently. They're 2-4 in their last 6 games. However, they only lost by 3 to a good Bears team without Rodgers. And I think if Rodgers had played that game, they probably win it. There was a very funny play that happened. It's not funny for Steelers fans, but on a 3rd and 4, where Rodgers is on the sideline saying it's the wrong formation, and they get the first down, but it's a legal formation. They don't get it. So, yeah, there is question marks there, but I think all 3 of these teams are in it. And the main reason why the Bengals are still in it is because the other 2 teams are 6-5, but the Bengals play the Ravens twice, and the Ravens' schedule looks rough. So we look at the Ravens' schedule really quickly. They play Bengals at home, Steelers at home. Then they play at Bengals against the Patriots at home, and then at Packers at Steelers. So all the teams they play are either above 500 skill or are above 500. We're assuming that with Burrow, the Bengals are an above 500 team, at least in skill. And I want to give Joe Flacco a little bit of credit. This week, he played a Patriots defense that is very, very good, and they almost came back, and that was with T. Higgins out with a concussion at some point in the game. Like, they're driving to try to win this game. And Jamar Chase was suspended. So his best offensive weapon was Chase Brown and Yoshivas and Mitchell Tinsley. So I do give Flacco a lot of credit for, and the Bengals defense played decent as well, for making this a game. But I mean, if they win that game, they're definitely in contention for it. But who do you think makes it out? Because the Ravens schedule is easily the hardest. However, the Bengals have to win out. I mean, the Bengals, to make the playoffs, in my opinion, they have to win out. If they go 9-8, I think they have a chance because they're 3-1 in the division. If they beat the Ravens twice, well, actually no, they're 2-1 in the division because they still have to play the Browns one more time. But if they go 5-1 in the division, they'll easily have the division tiebreaker. So if they go 9-8, they'll be in. If any other team is 9-8, they'll be over them. I do think this is true. One team in the AFC North will make the playoffs. I think we can at least agree on that.
Yeah, absolutely. One team, and this is kind of where you've seen it in the NFC South, where it's just one team's got to win the division. And here's the thing. These are a lot of good teams, but they have struggled this year with injuries with the Bengals, even though they have a terrible defense. But if Joe Burrow is healthy, they probably have more wins, just of that is what their offense is built for. Steelers kind of appear where they're at, but they do have injuries. Ravens had injuries as well to their quarterback with Lamar Jackson. And they always the past 2 years, they've had slow starts, the Ravens. So, yes, I know Lamar Jackson is not playing.
The last 3 weeks. I mean, we're at week 12. Is that now about to be week 13? Like, it's not slow starts anymore. Lamar has 1 passing touchdowns in the last 3 weeks.
Well, no, I'm talking about the Ravens, just in general, had a slow start.
Yes, but they're still slow right now. I know they've won their last 5 games, but that's more because of opponents than it is actual, like, how they're playing.
Yeah, but to me, they're a team that finds how to eke out wins, and they're doing that. And to me, they get better as the season goes on. So I view the Ravens as winning.
I think these last 3 games have been some of the worst games I've watched of their offense in a long time. I mean, they're scoring enough points, but I think it's because their defense has played so well. I think the worst offense rest of season, based on how the Ravens have played, is the Ravens. I mean, Lamar only had 11 rushing yards last game. If we look, their offense, yeah, they scored 2 touchdowns, both Derrick Henry touchdowns, but Derrick Henry had 21 rushes for 64 yards. That's basically 3 yards a carry. Lamar had 7 rushes for 11 yards and 153 passing yards. Their offense was atrocious. The only reason why they had a chance is because Breece Hall lost a fumble and Tyrod Taylor threw a pick. The no turnovers from the Ravens was the reason why they won the game. Basically meaning that the Ravens defense was the reason why they won the game. If you look the week before that against the Browns, which does have a good defense, I mean, Lamar threw 2 picks, had 193 yards of offense, only had 10 rushing yards. I mean, their team just did not look good. It was, and the week before that, I mean, Lamar had 1 passing touchdown, no picks, but he only threw for 176 yards. Lamar it's not even rushed for 60 yards combined in his last 3 games. I think there's some serious concerns regarding either Lamar's not 100% or something is wrong. Because Lamar this season, if you go by yards per game, just rushing, is averaging 29.6 yards per game. His rookie year was 43.4, which was by far the lowest. That's his only year below 50. Last year was 53.8, and he still ended up with almost 1,000 yards rushing on the season. This year, 29.6. Something is wrong. And at least with the Steelers' offense, I mean, they have the 11th most points per game, and that includes a game last week, where they were not 100% and were starting a backup quarterback. But at least their offense looks like it has some life. I mean, they scored over 30 points against the Bengals the week before and won. They have scored against the same Jets team that allowed Lamar to score no points by himself and only 2 rushing touchdowns by Derrick Henry, where Derrick Henry was not effective. The Steelers had 34 points against the Jets. Now that was week 1, but still, I have serious concerns about the Ravens offense. It has looked not bad. It has looked horrible. Horrible. And that's kind of insane because their first 2 games of the year, they scored 40 plus points. But since then, they scored 30 points since Lamar's been healthy. They've not scored 30 points since week 2. And if we look, even the games, they scored 30 points against the Bears, but that's with Tyler Huntley starting. And they scored 30 points against the Lions, and I believe Lamar played that whole game. Yeah, he did. But that's the last game Lamar's looked himself, was against the Lions in week 3. Now, either Lamar is hurt, and you're going to tell me that he's going to get more healthy as the season goes on, or I don't know, because the Bengals do have a bad defense, so I expect Lamar to play much better this week than he's played every week since the Dolphins game. Like, Lamar threw 4 passing touchdowns in that game, but they only had 204, passing yards. And in that game, he only had 14 rushing yards. Lamar, since he's come back, is not rushing the ball at all. Something is wrong. And if Lamar's not running the ball, their offense is substantially worse.
Yeah, and you talk about running. Derrick Henry struggled with running. It's been an issue for them the past 3 games, as you pointed out. And I do think they start to figure out how to get this offense going, or at least manageable. Because you mentioned the defense playing better. To me, the Ravens are a team that continues to adapt, and they continue to do it under Harbaugh. Because you mentioned the defense was giving up a lot of points at the beginning of this season. They've started to shut opponents down. Yes, it is against easy competition, but to me, that is gearing them up for the end of the season. So I think they'll start to get better as the year goes on, which is why I trust them to win the division.
Yeah, but their last 3 opponents are Vikings, who we've already talked, or we've talked a lot about off air, the JJ McCarthy situation, and then the Browns with Dylan Gabriel and a little bit of Shedeur Sanders, and then the Jets with Tyrod Taylor. Like, that's not anywhere. That's not even not difficult. That's just some of the worst QBs that are playing in the league by talent level, at least at the moment. So I don't think their defense is necessarily substantially better than it was at the beginning of the year. It's just they're not playing the Chiefs, who put up 37, the Lions, who put up 38, and even the Texans, who put up 44. Now, I do agree their defense has been better. And the Steelers are kind of in the opposite scenario as the Ravens. Like, the Steelers' offense, I think, has been kind of better than anticipated. I mean, they're 11th in points per game this year, averaging about 25 points per game. But their defense is giving up 24 points per game. And can they get their defense to be better? It's if we're looking at the teams, I think the best offense rest of season will be the Bengals. I think the Bengals will get their offense going under Burrow. They already have had some good offensive performances under Flacco. Just imagine it with Burrow. I know T. Higgins may be out, but Jamar Chase is back after his one-game suspension. I think the worst defense will be the Bengals. I think the worst offense could be argued to be the Ravens. But the best defense is the Ravens, even though I don't like their defense. And the Steelers are just somewhere in the middle, where they're both second in both of those categories rest of season, based on what I've seen recently and before that. So, I mean, can the Ravens beat the Packers in Green Bay? I don't think so. Can they? And can they beat? Let's see, who else do the Ravens play? They play the Patriots. Can they beat the Patriots? Have one of the best defenses in the league. Even though that game's at home, can they beat the Patriots? I bet those Steeler games are going to be close because they're guaranteed to be close. They're close every year. I don't care how bad one team is compared to the other. Those games are always close. And they played them twice. And then the Bengals are another divisional matchup. Those games also seem close. I can see the season going anyway. And that's all their games. It's all the Ravens games. Bengals, Steelers, Packers, Patriots. Like, those are not, none of those are pushover games. So how many wins do you think we'll just play this by wins. How many wins do the Ravens get out of that schedule? They play 3 home games, 3 road games. The home games are against the Bengals, Steelers, and Patriots. The road games are against the Bengals, Steelers, and Packers. How many of those are wins?
I have, so they'll lose to the Packers and the Patriots, but they'll win all the divisional matchups. So that'd be 4
You think
wins,
they win
right?
all the divisional matchups? Wow.
I think they win all of them. Yeah.
I don't know how. I don't know how they do that.
I think they do just enough to get those wins, and then they'll win the division.
You have a lot more faith in them than I do. I think that
I know.
Their offense.
They're not going to be pretty, but they're going to be wins.
We talk about them going on a 5-game win streak, and while beating the Bears, and that wasn't with Lamar. Since Lamar's been back, they've been on a 4-game win streak, and those opponents are the Dolphins, Vikings, Browns, and Jets. Their wins on the year are Browns, Bears, good win, Dolphins, Vikings, Browns, Jets. They have 1 win against a team that has more than 4 wins. 1. They lost to the Texans, who a lot of people didn't think were that good at that point. And they lost 44-10. They got basically almost shut out against the Rams. They lost to the Chiefs, and they lost to the Lions, and they lost to the Bills. I don't think that I think they win 2 of those games. I think they split both of their. I think they beat the Bengals once, beat the Steelers once, and go 2-4. I think they win both. I think they win the next 2 games. I think they actually win these next 2 games at home and then lose the last 4 to end the year. And they finish 7 and wait, my math's bad. 2-4. Oh yeah, they'd be 8-9. They'd be 8-9. Then the Steelers. Okay, they split against the Ravens, so that's at least 1 loss. I think that the Bills have looked bad though. Like if the defense at all for the Steelers can get going, the Bills have looked horrible against good defenses. But they haven't had a good defense, so we'll assume they lose that game. But let's say they beat the Ravens once. Let's say they beat the Dolphins. Let's say they beat the Browns. I mean, if they win that 3 game, they win the division. I mean, let's say they lose to the Bills, they lose to the Lions, and they lose to the Ravens once. The only games the Steelers have to win, Kevin, are Dolphins, Browns, and then beating the Ravens at home in Week 18, which I think they could do. So I guess at this point, it's just, can the Bengals go undefeated the rest of the season? I don't think they can. I think they at least lose one of those games to the Ravens. But what are their other games? I mean, if they can beat the Bills in Buffalo, their last 3 games, we talked about this, are Dolphins, Cardinals, Browns. Those are 3 easy wins. I'll say this now. If the Bengals get to 6-8, they win the division. Like, if they get to 6-8, they're winning those last 3 games and winning the division. I'm going to say right now, I think the Steelers win the division, because based on what I just said, I think the Ravens split both of their games against Bengals and Steelers, and then the Steelers go 9-8, go 3-3 rest of the season, and the Bengals, I think, go 5-1 or 4-2 and finish either 8-9 or 7-10. I haven't seen. I need proof from the Ravens to see that they have any life. Against good offenses, their defense gives up 40 points. Against good defenses, their offensive scores 20 points. That's not a recipe for success at all.
Yeah, I just don't trust that the Bengals can go on that run, and to me the Steelers offense is going to go down. I just don't see it happening.
They scored 28
and I also
points without Rodgers against a good defense in the Bears. The Bears have a good defense.
I think the Bears have a average defense.
The Ravens scored less points with their backup.
Well, to me, the Ravens wins are not going to be pretty, but I see them getting it against all the divisional opponents, and that's what gives them the division.
You think they go undefeated? You think they go 6-0 in the division this year? Their team's not good enough to. That would be insane.
You don't. Yes, but to me, they're a team that gets better as the season goes on, and they're going to realize the importance of these wins and get them, even though it's going to be incredibly ugly.
I think the Ravens may get 50 balled if they make the playoffs. If they go against a good defense, they're going to get 50 balled.
But the thing is, you just got to get into the playoffs and see what happens.
And who is the 5 seed? Oh, I guess if it's the Chargers, they're going to have a chance because the Chargers online is just terrible. But there's a chance the Bills are the 5 seed. And now that game was close earlier in the year, but the Ravens have only gotten worse since that point. And while the Bills have definitely not been their best, the Ravens' offense has looked atrocious. And the Bills scored 41 on them earlier. And I don't think the Bills have gotten worse offensively, at least. I don't know. We'll see. My pick right now is the Steelers. But
okay,
I haven't seen anything from the Ravens to show that they have any life on offense.
Well, I believe they're about to show you. So let us know your thoughts in the comments. We appreciate you listening to Outsiders Opinions.